Paul? Yes. Um, just so you understand, 7 hours of parenting classes is not child abuse. My record has been expunged. Now, I've never committed child abuse, but it's an abuse of my 5 sons to refuse to acknowledge their rights. And I don't give a fuck about their football team. Now, this is a mandatory reporting, making a false report of child abuse. Person knowingly makes a false report of child abuse to a public or private official, right? DHS or a law enforcement agency with the intent to influence a custody, parenting time, visitation, or child support decision. Now, let's look at it for just a second, okay? You issued this, right? The no contact order was absolutely unnecessary because people do get in arguments, and doing 7 hours of parenting classes is in no way an indication of child abuse. Um, declaration, order for protection, motion hearing, declaration, law enforcement worksheet, petition for renewal of protection order of May 31st of 2012. Dissolution of marriage 1 week before. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Child support, sheriff's return of service. I was arrested on the 27th of May of 2012. Allegation was that I had violated the protection order. Found not guilty. You reissued the protection order in May 31st. Children in the middle class, Heidi Lee Budnick, June 26th of 2012. Response to my petition, 50 additional pages and 5 written pages of why I didn't want a dissolution of marriage. But I didn't include any financial documents because Heidi didn't include any financial documents. I had put, well, I'd continue it 10 days later. Somebody tried to get me on that I didn't answer in 90 days, but I did. I can actually write whatever the fuck I want. See, I was a financial consultant, managed $60 million in assets, had 1,200 clients, and I've read a lot of legal documents. And when I responded that way, I thought maybe Heidi would provide the actual finances of a sheriff's return to service, children in the middle class, motion for default dissolution of marriage, child abuse, child abuse, child abuse, child abuse. Now, it seems that in Oregon, the officers are trained to make mandatory reports of child abuse. It's abusive to my 5 sons, yes. To file for dissolution of marriage, yes. Have me arrested for a phone call that I made on May 4th of 2012, 20 days after I made the phone call. Pooch. Go around and have the state of Washington fill out all these forms and then serve me the dissolution of marriage at the same time as arresting me for the allegation of violating the protection order. It's abusive to my 5 sons. I don't give a fuck if they're playing football right now. You've abused my sons for 7 years and 3 months. And I'm going to make absolutely fucking sure that you dumb fucks that think that you can spend the rest of your fucking life screwing me will find out that these mandatory reporting requirements, yes, they were a mandatory reporting requirement 2.5 years ago. Pouch. Now, she filed for dissolution of marriage. Yes. You had me arrested at the same time as serving me. Yes. For a phone call that I made 20 days before to the domestic violence advocate. And then you allowed for the dissolution of marriage to continue. Yes. When she filed for a motion for default dissolution of marriage when I had responded within 90 days. Now, I just want you to understand, okay, that when the field training manual says it's mandatory reporting, for some dumb fucking reason, you think you can keep violating the laws of the United States. Well, Brent, you're obligated to see that it was a fraudulent motioning of the court for a default dissolution of marriage. Now, after that, oh, 9/4 of 2012. Oh, now, what happened then? Did I get any more notices of court hearings? No. Did you issue a dissolution of marriage without making sure that I received actual notice of court hearings? No. Did you have the sole intent, Pooch, to influence the custody that Heidi has had of my 5 sons for the last 7 years? Was there the parenting time issues that you did not want to have any fucking parenting time? Well, let's just look at it. Where'd she send the notice of court hearings? It wasn't 1023 Kitchen Dick Road, was it? Did Did you know that I could not call Mike Van Proyen, that I could not ask for anything because Mike was bent out of shape pooch, that I said I loved his wife? Oh. But it seems to me that the police and sheriff's departments really don't do what's known as mandatory reporting. For some reason, you think that somebody else has to do mandatory reporting because you just don't do it. This mail returned unclaimed on February 13th of 2013. Yes. Where was it unclaimed from? It wasn't 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. For over 5 years, Mike has obstructed my rights as a father. You're not going to arrest him. There is no mandatory reporting of child abuse or child exploitation. Well, I'm telling you, Sheriff, I'm sitting here thinking, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because it looks to me like your office is never going to fucking do what the law says. I'm going to spend the next 100 years doing this until the day I die. It's mandatory reporting. Any public or private official having reasonable cause to believe that any child with whom the official comes into contact with has suffered abuse, or that any person with whom the official comes in contact has abused a child, shall cause a report to be made. They're called mandatory reporters. Is there some reason that you don't understand this? Didn't you get certified in child abuse? Oh, now, just want to know, do you understand the rules of good reporting? Accurate, concise, complete, legible, grammatically and structurally correct use of opinions. Where's the actual written report of the domestic violence on December 31st of 2015? Where's the report, officer? Where is the actual report? Because as I read this, the officer understands the question should be answered in a complete report. Who was there? What person saw it? What other witnesses? Who was it that did it? Who? What really happened? I was in Port Angeles, Washington. I was on a bus that morning. I was in the library that day. Well, what really happened? Because a traffic citation that was issued 4 days later doesn't really fucking explain exactly what happened. Who, what, where? Where did it happen? 400 North? Because I don't see any actual... Is there not an officer in Sequim, Washington that knows how to fill out a complete report? Because it looks to me like you don't. Now, I've asked for this report of exactly what happened and why it was that you arrested me 4 days later when I wasn't in that fucking city, and for some reason you said I was crazy. What really happened? Where's the complete report? The who, what, when, where, why, and how? Where's the actual report of the 2-count criminal complaint in Brendan, Washington? Why is it that all my mail was being sent of court notices to an address where I couldn't contact the individual? How is it possible that the police and sheriff's department doesn't understand that everything that's addressed to me was sent to a place where I can't fucking call the individual? What really happened? Brennan, Washington, on or about June 16th, my wife's 47th birthday. Exactly what the fuck happened because of two cramp.